trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home, focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the blue hearts let this last. I don't know.
That was a great sound of Wata outside on Behind the Brand on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. I am Prestige with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Bluez is in the building. And we can talk about one of our favorite venues in Connecticut. Pretty much a good hangout spot for myself and EZ Bluez, the Cellar on Treadwell, with our good friend Pete Mold. Pete, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Preston? Good to see you, brother. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. First time he's seen you with the mask, man. You look good.
Thank you.
All right, and then we got the great couple, Eric and Sherry. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Vic Manis. Vic Manis.
Vic Manis.
Big Manis. Oh my
God. Everybody gets it wrong, so don't worry at all.
Yeah. Her parents still say that's Vic Manis. So yeah, Vic Manis. Yeah, we're good. Thanks,
Vic
Preston.
Manis. Got you. But Eric and Sherry, welcome to the show for Behind the Brand. What's going on, guys?
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Now, Pete, just tell everybody who's just getting to know the Cellar for the first time. It used to be the Outer Space, and tell us why you wanted to rebrand the Outer Space into the Cellar, and what made you interested in owning a music venue in the first place. Go right ahead, brother.
Well, actually, it was the space. The Outer Space was next door.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
And I got involved in, I think it was November of 2018, with an establishment that was here after the space closed. And that's how I got into the business, and instantly fell in love with it. You know, I played in a band for 25 years here in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a part of the music scene. And I got in, and I bought out the people that I got in with, and got involved with Eric and Sherry, and we decided to call it the Cellar on Treadwell. The story, Eric and Sherry were on vacation.
Right.
They were out in, I think, Vancouver, and I sent them a message, and I said, I think I want to name it the Cellar on Treadwell. And they sent me a picture, and they were at an establishment called the Cellar.
It's like meant to be. Right.
So everything was meant to be.
Meant to be.
Pretty much. You know, that's how the universe works. Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. But it's funny you mentioned the Outer Space. I mean, that's where we first met Pete. And that's like, I mean, how many other people, right? And even, I mean, Preston coming through, you know, it would be, if it was the Cellar or Rough Draft. It's such a community there. And that's how, when we got involved with Pete, it's hard to do something on your own by yourself. And we had always been talking to him anyway. And everything was natural, about us joining in as well. And it's a happy family.
Nice. And you guys really do have a family atmosphere when it comes to the workers there. I really do see it just by dining in with Easy when we're there, and just the whole atmosphere that you guys bring, and especially how your great relationship is with the customers as well too. Have you every little trivias every now and then, especially when the local shows come out, and it's not just rock, it's hip hop, it's R&B, it's different kind of other genres of music. How you just bring to the table and just have a great atmosphere and just good relationship with your guests as well too. I'm saying not many, but it's really uncommon to see that when it comes to local venues and everything. Just working relationships with the artists and the customers too. So, and I got Easy can relate too, because he's been a little performing there every now and then with his little band Shane Penguin.
Well, actually, what's really incredible, and kind of to further touch on what Prestige was saying, you guys are very fearless in allowing promoters and we'll say show producers to bring a type of art there, no matter what type of art. And for a local venue, it is extremely risky, but there are these incredible benefits. I mean, Prestige and I put on, a poetry that became a stand-up comedy that became a little bit of hip-hop, kind of out of nowhere, just because we wanted to show a different form of art. And you guys were like, oh yeah, no, you can do that on like a Thursday. How's Thursday for you? And it's just absolutely incredible to do and to deal with. Or like, for example, when Prestige, myself, and Paranormal Adam, had this idea of doing, a local venue 2-stage festival, the whole bunch of different acts. You guys make incredible proposals. Let's see what we can do. And that fearlessness, that really is starting to pay dividends. Now, obviously, this COVID fiasco has been hard. And one of the things that you guys have done, I want you to talk about, is this dinner and a show that really was something that was almost revolutionary for our times. You guys were able to sit back, look, and say, okay, how can we move forward? Go ahead, the picture of you with the mask handing out food. I got a montage of that at some point, but we'll talk about that later.
Well,
so how did it,
Sherry, because Sherry put all the dinner and shows together.
Nice.
there you go.
I did.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm not sure if my connection is bad, so if not, I'll hand it to Eric. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, basically the dinner and a show idea came from, we closed our doors. I think March 15th was the last day. We had our best weekend. Honestly, I will say, as a business, we had our best week and weekend leading up to the day we had to close our doors. And that was very devastating for us as a team, as everything. So we closed the doors for 2 weeks and we sort of sat back and tried to figure out what was going to come next. And we all know, and Easy, Preston, we have a wonderful food program. We have a fantastic chef in Chef Andre Mack.
Yeah.
And we are very proud of our food, but that has never been really what we were known for. So we had to try and kind of take this as an opportunity to pivot a little bit. We knew we could do takeout, so we wanted to do the takeout. But it was very, very important to us not to lose our roots in who we are with the live music scene, the local music community. That is really who we are deep down inside in our DNA. So trying to find a way to blend the two together, and especially with the fact that all of the artists were suffering just as much as the small businesses. You can't play shows. That's your income. All your shows are canceled. So And I will say we were very, very blessed because all of the musicians who performed for us, they did it. They gave of their own time. They did not ask for any compensation in return. We definitely tried to encourage the community to provide, virtual tips to them via donation. But we were very blessed because we worked with, over that period of time, I think we worked with almost 60 artists.
That's great.
Gave their time on a Friday night to perform. And it was really nice, like for us personally, when it was all said and done, we would get messages from the performers saying, oh, that was so fun for me. It just felt so good to like play my instrument again, or, engage with people via comments on Facebook. And that really, really warmed our hearts more so than anything else. It was fun for us. Obviously, we were working a lot of those times, but hearing that they got something out of it gave something back to us as well. So, and a lot of people got to enjoy our food who maybe, we had people who said, oh, I heard so-and-so talk about dinner and a show, and they would order takeout. So again, from a business perspective, from behind the brand perspective, it was helpful for us. Maybe now people will think about us more for food versus just shows. And so, so it's really great.
Now, the food's phenomenal. Let's talk about the food for a little bit. How did you get with the relationship with Chef Andre Mack? Because he really puts a lot of love and thought into the food, into your menu. And the best part about it is it's not the same thing every single day. You guys always have specials. Everything always gets a little switched up. The Taco Tuesdays are very entertaining too as well also. Just tell us about the menu and just the enhancement of that and just what brought Chef Andre Mack into the whole family of the Cellar. Go right ahead.
Let me start with how we met Andre.
Okay.
My good friend Pat, before we opened, it was probably about a month and a half before we were opening,
Right.
And, I had to find a chef. So Pat was here. He was helping me, build and paint and do some other things. And I said, Pat, do you know anybody? And he says, hold on. He sent a text message. 10 minutes later, Andre responded, and he was here the next day.
Nice.
We sat down with him for about an
That's
hour.
awesome.
Had a really good conversation. Got to know him, and we saw his potential because he's an excellent chef. His food is amazing, and like you said, he puts so much love and attention into his food. It shows.
Yeah.
In your mouth when you fall in love with it, when you take it.
And for all those who have not been able to taste this amazing food, let me tell you, you fall in love with it. Like it is almost a religious experience when you eat this food. I mean, I was there on the 14th, which I think was one of the last shows that you guys had.
Yeah.
And I had this incredible Huggy Bear sandwich, which I love to death. I will love forever. It might be one of my favorite chicken sandwiches ever. Forget Popeyes, forget Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Nice.
forget Wendy's, Huggy Bear. It's the way that it is. And then the reality, and this is how personal things can get, right? The reality of COVID hitting and me not being able to have this sandwich again became really like a problem for me, right? A problem. And then you guys announced that you're doing the dinner and the shows thing, and I was like, oh, yay. And then when you guys were actually open to do some of this, and we're going to get into, these steps and following what you guys need to follow as per, regulations. And I was able to eat that sandwich again and be in that patio and feel just a little bit of home and a little bit of normal. That is really, I mean, honestly, to me, it's what the Cellar is. It is this incredible place where so much of CT's musical history has happened, whether it was the space, whether it was the rough draft, whether it is you guys with the Cellar. And you guys have really been able to reflect back on the history that is there. And as a musician, as someone who has seen the steps and sees what's coming, I just want to thank you guys for that because it's extremely important. So thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah, thank you.
No, and
Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny that with seeing some people, and they may be in like even their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, and I'll be chatting. I've never met them before, and it is that family atmosphere, and it brings everyone to be very social. That's why these times are tougher. But when you're chatting with someone, even actually when one of the first weekends we were open, it was Amar from. I'm sorry, All That We Are, yes. And he's like, wait a second. It's like, I think I've played here before. And he didn't even, he's young, right? And he's like, because it's changed around. He's like, oh, wait, the stage was over here, that. I mean, people in their 30s, like, oh, I think I played here. And they're like, can you imagine the bands that came through? And so, yeah, it has that rich history. And I mean, it becomes a reunion, I think, for any of these shows when you talk all the different genres too. Because I always went out indie rock, emo, hip hop, metal, even jam shows, and we'll know that crowd anyway. And then you see your extended family all the time there. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Now, since Dustin was talking about the awesome dining experience that he had recently, and I saw that photo on Instagram. He didn't invite me, by the way. I was really personally mad. But,
He's coming tonight, so come on down, Preston.
Yeah, coming down tonight. Yeah,
Date night.
Well, it's more to talk about business that we spoke about earlier. We're not going to put it out on air.
But for a person who wants to enjoy the dining experience right now at the Cellar, tell us about the new regulations and what to expect when you come in, just respecting the social distances and the guidelines of today's pandemic. Go ahead.
You would expect to come in the door and please be wearing a mask and adhere to all social distancing guidelines. You'll be seated, whether it's inside or outside.
Okay.
And you'll have your server, with a mask, gloves,
Is it half capacity?
Yes, we are at half capacity.
That's what I was trying to reach at. Okay, so it's half capacity.
Yeah. So Pete did a lot of work in the dining room to reset how all the tables were so that there was the proper 6, and in many cases, more than 6 feet in between. We did get rid of some of our tables inside. And what Pete does, is we do have a large tent that we put out in the patio in the parking lot in the event that our patio is full and people prefer to have outdoor dining. So since we were able to take some of our indoor chairs and put them out there to have an alternative outdoor space, because it does seem that more people are feeling comfortable being outdoors. And then the latest addition was the addition of a barrier at the bar area, because restaurants are permitted to have diners sit at the bar as long as there is protection between the staff and the diners and 6 feet of social distance between parties. So that was a new addition. Pete did all of the work to get that in place for last weekend. And I do think that it was nice. I think some people miss that experience of being able to sit at the bar and get back easy to what you were talking about, like a feeling of normal. Like it just kind of makes you feel a little more normal. So we actually had a handful of people take advantage of that seating option last week. But it's all single-use menus, paper menus that you throw away. We're currently using rolled silverware that's, single-use. All condiments are single serving sizes, no sharing of ketchup bottles or anything like that. So all that stuff is really in place.
Definitely. That's really awesome to hear. Now, are we going to see some outside performances in the foreseeable future for the Cellar and Treadwell?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice.
We actually had our first, sorry, Pete, I didn't
go ahead, Terry.
We had our first outdoor patio performance last Saturday night. Pat Stone played about an hour and a half set. The weather was a little hot, but it was really nice. And I think we all just kind of let out a big exhale, like just to hear live music. And because our patio seating is limited, because again, social distance, we are live streaming those shows as well. Because again, and we're still offering curbside takeout, so people who want to take out and watch from home can. And then additionally, we are broadcasting the live streams on the big screen indoors for folks who are eating indoors. So they still get the live music experience, even if they can't be right on the patio. So that was last Saturday. And tomorrow night we have a performance, Rob Glassman. And he just added someone, I think, right before this call. So I can't recall exactly who it is, but they'll be there 6 to 8:30 tomorrow night on the patio.
And we have the separation. We have beyond 12 feet actually there. And there's your table for your significant other, or let's say it's your bubble, right? But that's it. And then we make that clear to the performer. And most performers now, that's what we're actually experiencing now, is they're very cautious, which we think is great. And so far, everyone has said, I think outside of me, one artist, I'll only do outdoor. And we sent them, it's great now we had this one performance, because even this week when we're reaching out, we're sending, here's a picture of the layout, here's a video. We want people to feel that comfort. And I said, if you want to do a duo, it has to be who you've been with, right? I mean, there's some couples, etc. But even that, we didn't know if some diners might not be comfortable with that, but it's that 15 to 17 feet, even from the first person at the table. Yeah.
It's really awesome that you guys just found these guidelines right, and the artists as well too. Had been no confrontation, so I'm really happy that you guys been doing that. It's really awesome. On WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven Prestige, and my long partner in crime, EZ Bluez, Long Island Raised, Elm City Made. Eric, I really want to get to know you a little bit more, man.
Sure.
Did you start out as an independent musician? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, definitely in high school, in the hardcore metal scene, playing shows with Earth Crisis and local hometown heroes, Hatebreed, and I mean, the list goes on. And then, ska bands, etc. So really the originals. And then I think I got older, friends moved away, and I've jumped into the cover band scene. But music is always the, that's my love, my passion, my religion, for sure.
It's in your blood.
It's through and through. And I'm glad to see some of the metal shows at the Cellar. That's where my heart is. But Sherry's her jam is jam. It's jam music. So, and I've gotten into it as a guitarist, but yeah, always been involved. And I mean, we were screen printing shirts on our own back, in the mid '90s too, and the demo tapes, etc. So totally know that, and the experience of an artist already knowing and playing venues of how it is for someone to arrive and what they need to know and ahead of time, and even just before COVID is, how to make that a pleasant experience. And now with all the marketing, etc. But yeah, that's exactly, my background is in that, and entered the corporate world, and we'll call this like my night job, but I love it. It's something for sure to look forward to on the weekends now. No doubt. And we were doing the curbside,
right?
Because things weren't going well at my day job, just the business we're in, like many, so where you have clients that are in travel, etc. But going there and actually like seeing the smiles on people's faces and coming out of there with a successful night and having the music back, I'll work a 20-hour day any day of the week if we can get back some of that joy. So
I think pretty much that give back is real, especially because I'm pretty much talking to everyone around me is musician but myself, and I think it's really good to give that advice back, especially to young musicians, because they're very open-minded. They're like sponges. They want to know at least everything they can. And to have a venue run by, former independent musicians is really a great thing. It's not by any, well, you guys even recognize it, probably even yourself, Pete, dealt with those crummy, sketchy, promoters that just paid you just like an arm and a leg. And Easy was telling me these war stories back in the day, where he was just getting on and with just a whole bunch of promoters just trying to put him in that fourth slot. And when they got there, they took him out. And it's not like that at your place. It's really not like that. You always want to respect the artist in general, giving them a good scheduled dates. I never really heard about any, clapback from stuff that's going on. I mean, your promoter, Mike, he's doing a really great job, especially running stuff and rescheduling a whole bunch of dates. That had to have been really a little bit stressful for you when this pandemic happened, because I remember I think I was talking to one of the workers before I got there, how a lot of stuff was scheduled throughout the summer through you guys. I mean, a lot of stuff ahead of time. If you really want to book your stuff ahead of time at the Cellar, do it right now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate for it, guys. But
wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. And why don't we tell the people how they could book at the Cellar coming up?
Go ahead, Easy. I'm sorry. I'm slurring my words.
No, I'm asking. Why don't you tell the people how you get,
Absolutely.
say, even for 2021.
It's really simple. You just send an email to the Cellar on Treadwell at gmail.com, and somebody will be back in touch with you. It's our booking process is very simple. You just send an email, we get some information, we check out your stuff, and then we book a show. I've had quite a few national artists that I've worked with say that this was the easiest place they've ever booked a show. And they were very, very thankful because it was so simple.
Yeah, and if anyone forgets that, even if you're going into our Facebook page and you send us a direct message, you'll get the email right there as well, and usually even talk through some of it at that point. But yeah, then we'll keep it in the email and for the artists.
Definitely. So one more time for the email again for the listeners.
The Cellar on Treadwell at gmail.com.
Absolutely, absolutely. And definitely they have a great relationship with the artists as well, too. Now, just tell me about the whole makeover, because you're turning the space into the Cellar. And when you went there before, there was a lot of cartoon characters on the walls, but now you made it a more updated look, a great look, actually. I mean, you guys have the jukebox in there. You guys, paint the colors. Everything's like real coordinated inside. Who definitely was involved with the whole remodeling of the Cellar?
I guess that would pretty much be me.
Yeah.
Kind of threw some colors at Eric and Sherry and say, what do you guys think of these? And they were like, they look great. So I painted, I picked up a bunch of signs. We've had quite a few customers give us some signs. Some artwork on the walls was given to me by George Zito from Rubber Match Head Shop in New Haven, which is closed, I think, almost 2 years now. So he gave me some of his original signage. He opened in the 70s in New Haven. Put some fence up on the patio, changed the entrance. You know, the entrance used to be on the stage side, and you walk into the back of the stage, so it didn't really make sense. So I changed the entrance to the back of the building, so now you come in front of the stage, right in the middle of the venue.
I have to shout out, I have to take a second, sorry, Preston, to shout out the work that Pete did to refinish all the tables and the bar, because that really added, I mean, such a cool effect. And I think that was, paint makes a big difference, but just making that change, it really changed the feel. You know, it worked so well with the nice wood bar and the tables and chairs and with the red walls. And I just think that is such a nice touch that was really unique and a big part of the change.
Awesome. Tell me how it was like getting in Fox 61 down there and doing a little coverage of your station within the short time you guys been running the place. That had to be an awesome feeling.
That was fun. They reached out to us through email from, there was quite a few people had emailed them. So they hit us up and we put it together, and they came in and they did some filming, and they stayed about 2 or 3 hours after they were done filming. So they could
That's awesome.
kind of hang out, because I think we had bingo that night.
Bingo.
It was one of the first Mixtape Bingos put on by Digital Tracks Entertainment, Anthony Apuzzo. And they just continued to film, and they had a blast. That's
great, man. Even just seeing you on the TV, man, it really felt like you guys definitely put a stamp on there. It was a really awesome feeling, and it's crazy seeing Chef Andre Mack in the full chef attire doing this thing.
He was so happy. It was so funny, man. It was great.
Like it was really worth it just seeing you guys up there, man. And definitely, man, the bingo nights are incredibly fun too, man. Is that going to be in the foreseeable future?
It is. We're doing trivia tonight. So every other Friday it's trivia, and every other Friday is Mixtape Bingo.
Gotcha. And Mixtape Bingo is fun too, man.
It is,
man. Easy Bluez, former winner of the Mixtape Bingo.
I have one. Yeah, I have one at Mixtape Bingo. Yes, I have. Here's the thing. Like, it's such, and I know it's not your guys' original idea, but it is such an incredible idea, especially being a musician or being an audiophile as I am, because I do that on the radio all the time. I mean, that used to be a game my mom and I used to play while driving, in her Charger. The song would come on the radio. She goes, "Who is this? Name another song of this person." So it's such an incredible experience to sit there and do that. And it's also real fun to take the idea of bingo, which most people think, a bunch of old people are going to be playing bingo, and it's going to smell of Ben Gay and Geritol. But then you bring this rock and roll feel to it, and it's just so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, Anthony Apuzzo, absolutely, he nailed it. He's pure genius, and he's great at what he does.
Absolutely, man.
And we've had to change it up with him. Sorry, Prestige, but we have had to change that up too, as far as what do you do with the cards, etc. It's like, okay, well, everyone brings their own marker. It's paper now. Like, we're all real environmental freaks, and this is tough for us, but we know what we have to do, at this time. So it's just handled a bit differently. And he's way back on the stage, and mask when you go up to pay, etc. So we've had to reconfigure things for that as well. But it's, last week, I say, when we had the mixtape back for the first time, I think Sherry, like, we said to each other, that felt the most normal. Yeah, like, for a moment, we forgot. We really, literally forgot that this was happening. And we just came to dine that night and hang out. And there's always a little work involved, POS thing that you have to fix, Sherry, or something else we're doing, adjust with booking or tables. But anyway, sorry.
But and one good point, just because we're talking about Mixtape Bingo and trivia, is the one thing that is nice, what Anthony has set up, because he has a wireless system, is you can play and sit outside. So again, if you are still a person who wants to dine outside and sit outside on the patio or in the parking lot, like, you can still participate in these games. You would have to, just come in for a moment to give him your trivia paper. But that is something that's really nice that he has been able to set up and allow people to still participate and feel comfortable. So.
Good. It's great giving people that sense of normalcy back, man, because it's really needed. It's really needed. People were cramped up in their house for like two and a half months, just staring at the wall. It's really definitely needed, especially at this time. And I'm really happy that you guys are following those CDC recommendations, with Connecticut being one of the leading states containing this whole coronavirus. But you guys are definitely adjusting well. And it's really a blessing because not many two venues are adjusting well at this time. A lot of venues are closing down, and you guys really proved just in this short amount of time you've been running this thing that you are definitely leaders when it comes to this. So salute to you. Definitely a big salute to you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. But when this pandemic slows down, I know we're gonna have the festivals again. I know we're gonna have one of the big shows coming again. I remember seeing great shows. How it was just packed inside the building. I remember Easy took me to one of the rock shows one time, and I forgot I couldn't even move in the place. I couldn't even move the place. It was so loud. And even if even it's like half capacity in that crowd, you still have that great energy from the bands that get you going as well too. But tell me some of your favorite shows that have been going on just throughout the whole tenure of the Cellar, just each and every one of you.
Oh man, the list is so very long. But
I believe it, man.
one of my favorite shows had to have been the Unified Noise Fest that you guys put together. Because
Seriously,
it was so diversified. There was so many different acts, so many different genres, art, poetry. I mean, it was everything. It was inside, it was outside. And that was one of the first ones that we did, and it was a huge success. We had a blast. Everybody had just a great time.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It was crazy running back and forth, me and Easy trying to run this thing, especially with our friends.
So
it was warm. It was warm that day too.
It was warm.
It was warm that day.
So tired.
Yes, it was. We were running back and forth. I felt like I was in an endless maze for about 8 hours.
Look, it looked like it ran really smooth, but inside, Prestige and I was not as smooth as y'all think it was. Trust me. Whew.
Oh no, and those could go way sideways. And like you had asked before, Prestige, like my history of playing hardcore shows. I remember it'd be a Friday night and they put 10 bands on. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And those, some of them I'm not gonna name poorly for you on this moved. And when there was a slot change or someone's car broke down or whatever equipment changes, you guys put someone right in. And then you also, the music on the patio was was great. And that's what kind of gave us the idea again. We're like, oh yeah, it's completely possible to do. It worked. And we didn't have any other lights out there. I'm like, wait, that was at night, too. So,
that's all.
I want to give a big shout out to Storytime Bob. He really helped us out too.
Yeah,
Storytime Bob.
Yeah.
And he was wearing his
PA.
Yes.
Definitely, man. They're big supporters as well too with that. But go ahead, Eric, Sherry, tell me what are some of your favorite shows at the Cellar.
Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I think, that is still, it's one of them. Sea of Bones is great. I mean,
oh my God, it was a wall of sound. The speakers on the stage were enormous. It was so loud.
I love that. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, I don't know how, I know, I think it was Mallory that night was just like, I think I should start wearing earplugs. I said, yes, you already aren't? Like, you work here every night. It's loud. But even, some of the shows where I didn't know the band, I knew someone in the band, but I'd never seen the band Ink. And it was, it was great because it was such a popular night for the Cellar, and we had probably one of the, biggest crowds we've had there. But I mean, talk about how how much they entertained and how warm they were with the crowd. But those are two definite standouts. I mean, there's so many, I have to think.
Ink definitely for me, because I'm from Milford. Right. And Ink is also from Milford, and they've been around for 25 plus years. So to see all of my old friends from Milford come into my bar, for one of the biggest shows that we've held, it was fantastic. It was just really unbelievable. And they've been back. The second time Ink was here, they played with Dirt, another bunch of guys from Milford that I've known for many, many years, and it was just insane.
Awesome.
I think
the Almas, A Light Divided. There's just been so many, man. It completely blows my mind.
Wilder Run, who we had, they're huge. I actually told someone about the show after the fact, wait, you guys had that band there? And I'm like, yeah, I mean,
What a
this is
night!
who we have.
What a night!
Yeah.
The other one I was going to mention was did a few shows where we collaborated with this organization called Art Jam.
Oh yeah.
You guys might know about them. They do a summer festival, I believe, up in Vermont, I want to say. But they had reached out because they work with some local Connecticut artists on different collaborative efforts. And they put on a few shows at the Cellar that I think were really fun. And it was like going back to earlier, it was a bit of a different crowd. It was a little bit more of a experimental music, or I don't know exactly, but they had painters at one of the events where they were doing live painting during the show, which was really fun. And they really tried to engage the crowd. But they did one right before the holiday. It was like their holiday jam. And again, it was like one of the bigger crowds we had in there, and there was tons of dancing. And that warms my heart because I like to dance, and I'm always dancing in the back corner by myself. So to look around and see a room full of swaying people, that was, I think, my favorite show.
But that dancing and not the moshing really gets you very nervous in there, right? I'm like, Sherry, this is how it is. Like, you just have to, all the tables are cleared out. Don't worry. We're going to police it. But yeah.
One thing I love about you guys is not just the music that you invest in locally. Pete, because you're in charge of the bar, you're invested into the local breweries. And tell me about the great relationship you have with them, because I tried a drink that was called the Purple Rain. It was just amazing.
Purple Haze.
That's New England Brewing.
Purple Rain. Yep. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Yes.
New England Cider Company out of Wallingford. We have their cider on tap all the time.
Yeah.
So
I tried that as well.
We rotate through their ciders that we enjoy and that sell well, and that the patrons enjoy, and they're incredible. That Purple Rain is delicious.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
We gave them direct feedback when we go up there to get a growler fill, etc. We talked to Miguel and Seth, and every time we said, "Hey, people are loving it," and then like, "Oh, okay, we'll have to make sure you get whatever new flavor they have coming out or new cider." And that's it. You'll see that here, and then like a micro, but usually you only expect to see that at these bars, but it's at the Cellar. So
yeah, and I'm really happy that you guys are doing that.
So many breweries in Connecticut. We sell a lot of East Rock Brewing. We sell a lot of their beer. Counterweight, we sell a ton of Headway.
Nice.
Yeah, wasn't Headway was Employee of the Month one time, right? Seriously.
Absolutely.
And what Rhythm? Well, that's the first time I'd had it. To be honest, first time I'd had it, and I'm going more towards lagers and traditional beers now. And watching, the show that you did a few weeks ago, it was great to hear the history of that. But yeah, I love that focus, just something different. And we have that's it. We see people going for it that don't want to do the hard IPAs, etc.
Oh yeah, and I'm very happy that you're investing just to local breweries and giving people that opportunity and chance to meet a new demographic for their customers. Because we were talking to Alicia about a couple weeks ago, myself and Easy on the show, and she was just telling us just about her journey about going from bar to bar and restaurant and restaurant. How it was just that difficult path, just even having that positive energy to each and every place, no matter if it was a no or maybe, because when people say maybe, it always lends to no. So just her having that positive energy and that attitude going at it, that's perfect. And for you guys as well with that positive energy too, because not too many people will go all the way to the back of the road to go to your location. It's very awesome that people are actually going through their way to go in the back, because you're in the back of the busy Dixwell Avenue. And not too many people know that in that back area, but like it's always packed, or at least predominantly packed when you go there to have any kind of event there. So that's really another salute to you, and another place to just getting that whole promotion very well. You guys are definitely on point with the promotion, as I see with the whole shirts in the background. Now, who is in charge of the awesome merchandise? Oh, that could be you, sir. Okay.
No, that's Sherry. I'm passing it to
Sherry. Okay.
When we were talking about the remodel, I did want to say that.
All right.
Sherry's behind the brand pretty much with this. I mean, he came up with the name, but Sherry, you did the logo, and that's yeah.
So how'd you get the merchandise up? Because I do have a hoodie. I have one hoodie right now, but
yeah, we have a whole bunch of hoodies available still. I think we're down to like I think almost the wire on the t-shirts. We probably
I think I got 3 left.
But right now we're like, is it really the best time? But we probably will reorder them. And then we actually, I think we got some requests. Some people wanted a hat, so we will kind of investigate. But we work with a local guy that was introduced through a friend of ours who just does a local business who does all the printing for us.
Right.
Rex, I don't even know his last name.
Just hold that thought right there, Sherry. I'm very sorry. On WNHHLP 103.5 FM, behind the brand with myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Easy Bluez, Long Island Raised, Elm City, Maine. We're just talking about the awesome merchandise. And you talked about hats. Are we going to have any masks?
That's too funny, Pete.
We were talking about it last night.
Really, it's so funny.
Well, no, it's really become like this great merchandising aspect is, again, when you take a tragedy and you're able to spin it, so like moving forward, I'll be honest, I might perform in masks moving forward because it's different. It's one, my microphone gets a whole lot less, wet. I got a big mouth, it happens. That's why I bring my own microphone, and I've been bringing my own microphone for a while. But it's really this incredible experience, and it is a trial and error aspect because, we just started practicing 2 weeks ago, and the first mask was a little bit too small. I opened my mouth a little bit too much. So one of my belts, I actually choked on my mask and had to pull it out of my mouth. So, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. Everyone's like, why'd you stop singing? I was like, I'm sorry, trying not to die. Trying not to die. But we finished the song, so thank you. But it is this great experience, and it is this great, it is a merchandising tool, and it can take these negatives and spin them in a positive. And the other thing I really want to point out with you guys in particular, and your venue in particular, is you get to know the artists as well. Yeah. I am someone who jumps all over the place. You can't really hold me down as per an artist. And, it's incredible to have, Mike, who's an incredible sound person, make sure that when we're performing, there's an extension on the mic cord. And it's just those little things that are like, oh my goodness, these guys actually see me and appreciate that. It's so different. And you're starting to see some of these videos of people playing outside and like customers trying to pull their mask off their face. Well, and I know that would never happen in your guys' venue because you care. And because it is that family environment that if someone was like, and I've played venues where, people have walked up on stage, and it wasn't when we were playing because it would have went a lot different. But when you're looking at some of these other bands and like, wow, this band is extremely nice because I would have definitely done something at this point, but, I know that wouldn't happen there. I know that if someone is even getting a little too loud or reckless, someone in your establishment will take them outside while the bands are playing. And you're not asking them to leave. You're just saying, hey, why don't we go outside and smoke a cigarette and, talk about whatever. And it's a great environment to be in. And, like I say, I feel home when I'm there. And that's a great thing to do, especially a transplant like me, as Prestige says. I'm not from CT, but I feel like I found myself in CT. And so thank you. I just really...
You're welcome. Sherry, don't get... No.
Oh, man.
You're always safe when you're at the Cellar.
Always.
We treat everybody like family. We are like a family. And we want everybody to be safe and feel comfortable and enjoy what we have going on.
Yeah, even one of the situations we had to diffuse at one point, it was exactly what you said. Pete was over the bar. I was right over, and we brought them outside. They had their friend, and we said, just not here. You're not doing this here. And that was it. And you know what? We're not calling authorities. Handle it, and that's it. And you learn from it. I mean, I've been in so many shows where that happens. One thing that you guys made me think about is I really miss all our venues, right? And we're lucky because in a way, we do serve food. and great food, and we have, you know, that selection. I miss the ballroom a ton, and I think some of our most favorite nights, I almost sometimes, sorry, I forget the show because it feels like another whole night, but the bands that play the ballroom will come over late night. Yeah, and because Pete usually has taken care of them way early in the day on a Friday or Saturday. They've eaten already at this hour. Then they come back. And then, like, we'll get a message from Mark the next day, like, hey, thanks for taking care of so-and-so. Like, their tour bus is there. Where else are you going to go?
Right.
Yep.
And those are those feel like those nights, like partying, like a little bit after hours, you know, with some of the band, you know, that's really
and
fun.
usually on those nights we close early, so you know it's not actually after hours. It's
Yeah.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
The best one, my favorite was the Addicts. They were a punk band, a very popular punk band out of the UK, and they came over, and what a night! We talked for a few hours before they rolled out in their bus, and it was fantastic. We served food to Nora Jones when she played next door.
Oh wow!
Yep.
At the ballroom. Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to be a good neighbor.
Yeah,
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Because you never know what's going to happen, man. Never know what opportunities you're going to meet. Never know who you're going to network to, man. It's crazy. Nora Jones, that's amazing feeling right there.
Didn't Mike Watts eat there as well?
Oh, Mike Watts. Oh yeah. Yeah. As soon as Mike came down the stairs, he walked to the limp, and I saw him limp when he came down the stairs, and I yelled out. I said, "Is that Mike Watt?" And he stuck his head down below, and he's like, "I remember you because I did security for him when they played at the ballroom when it was the outer space."
Right.
I did stage security for quite a few shows next door back in the day, and Mike was one of them, and he remembered me, and he came back afterwards, and we had a blast. I think he actually even shouted us out on stage during his show. I think he got one of the first atomic bacon burgers when we first started serving them, and he said, "Go next door, see my friend Pete, and get a burger."
Right.
Oh, those nights I'm not there, and you send me like, "Hey, the Melvins were here, etc." I'm like, "Oh man, wasn't I there that night?"
Well, and that's the other thing too. I think one of my favorite moments actually at the Cellar was at the Unified Noise Fest when your bar back realized that Caesar Comanche was on stage. He's like, "Wow, this guy sounds like Cesar Comanche." I was like, "Well, that's because it is Cesar Comanche." And of course, expletives came out of his mouth, and he grabbed me, and he's like, "What?" And he just rushed to the stage with his phone to really captivate the moment. And it was so beautiful to see that and to see that enjoyment. And it's something that happens there almost nightly when music is playing. You know, I've been there for some very weird and interesting shows. I've been there for some stuff that I don't necessarily understand. But, you know, people just have this incredible connection. One, because you guys are so like, hey, this is a safe spot for you guys to be yourselves. And not a lot of that happens, one, in business, and two, definitely in a venue type of aspect. A lot of people spend a lot of time trying to put a penguin in a pigeonhole, and that's a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna make a shirt like that. I'm just saying. You know. So.
Go ahead, Sue. You're about to say something?
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying nobody should put a penguin in a pigeonhole.
Exactly. You know, and that's the other thing which I think is so incredible is, you know, for those people, and I don't want to make this about Shane Penguin, but I will say, for those people who haven't seen the Shane Penguin show or something like that, we're a little bit different. We're a little bit odd. We show up with stuffed penguins on stage. And not once, you know, and we've been to venues where people like, I've literally had someone pull me aside and say, do you need mental help? And I'm like, sometimes. But, you know, I do, you know, we bring them there, and you're guys like, oh, you guys got a new penguin. Oh, here's a pair of sunglasses for the penguin. Someone left it at the bar. You know, and it's a great to really be encouraged to be yourself. And it's so freeing there. And, you know, it's missed. You know, and even when you were doing your dinners in the show, there was no type of format. You know, you had some people who had you know, full amplification and they had a background screen, and that was beautiful. And then you had a couple of knuckleheads like us that had a single phone camera in a basement where we're trying to make sure 3 of us are in the scene, and I move around too much. And you weren't like, please don't be like that. You're like, hey, have fun. It's your hour.
We had 2 guys performing in a kiddie pool in their
That was what
backyard.
I was
Yeah, it's just gonna, yeah. And story times, I don't know if I'll even, it's terrestrial radio, so. No.
Yeah, story time, Bob, is definitely not for terrestrial radio, but definitely entertaining.
Buddy.
I love that man.
Oh, he's great. I love Bob.
I love that man.
An enormous supporter. And he's definitely, he's come to so many different shows that, you know, he'd be playing the happy hour stay, and he's like, well, this isn't what I choose to listen to, but I respect it. It was really interesting. And then, you know, he's on, but.
I remember one time he was heckling one of the comedians we have on one of our shows. His name was Chris Sear, and they were going back and forth for a good 15 minutes.
Oh, it was great.
Minutes, him and Chris Sear were going at it, just arguing, and the whole crowd was just entertained. It was an amazing experience just to see, and just.
But also, how great Storytime is after that, and after Chris Sear got off stage, Storytime made sure he shared a beer with him.
Yes.
That's
it wasn't like he was just trying to be like whatever. He was actually feeding into and adding to the experience. You know,
he was being honest.
Yes, exactly.
That was it.
Yeah. One of the bands that I deeply regret not seeing at the Cellar is one of my favorite local bands, Fat Astronaut. I know they perform a couple times at your venue, and they have like a great demographic when it comes to there too. They bring a whole bunch of great audiences over there. And I think another one that Easy's favorite artist. I think we're gonna have him on the show very time. So it was a Sketch, Easy.
Yep, Sketch. Yeah, he was there for the Penguin Party in March.
Yeah, and I never got a chance to see him. I definitely want to see what he's feeling. Any shows that you did not get a chance to see the artists that you really wanted to have an opportunity to see, guys?
There's a bunch because we were booked through September into early October in March. I mean, we were booked out, and it was going to be an incredible summer. You know, spring, summer was going to be insane, and we were going to be busier than we ever have been because we were on the upward climb.
Right.
And, we weren't done peaking yet, and all of a sudden we're told, you know, we can't open.
Yeah. That's a sad feeling. That's a sad feeling. But you guys adjusted very well. You guys did adjust very well. Absolutely.
We're going to try to get back as many of those shows rescheduled as possible as soon as we're able, and we know with the guidelines when we're able to have indoor.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because there's still a lot of people that are very afraid to come and sit down inside somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame them. Man. This pandemic is definitely unpredictable. I like to say you guys are like the Field of Dreams. If you play it, they will come. They will definitely come all the artists.
And I never once thought that I would own a bar and a music venue. I never once thought this. If you asked me 10 years ago, I don't know, I'll be like doing something. But not owning a bar. And it's been so humbling. It's Thank you all so much because it's really been incredible.
It feels like you were put on this earth to do this, Pete. You too, Eric.
I mean, I'm a guy, you know, I think, you know, things happen for a reason. This is a damn good reason to live.
Definitely. Time is running thin, unfortunately, for this broadcast of Behind the Brand, if I can barely speak of myself in Easy Blues. Just a couple last words, a couple shout-outs, guys, you want to give out just for each and every one of you, and just where to find you guys on social media for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that. Last couple minutes is yours, guys. Go right ahead.
Hit it, Sherry.
Oh, boy, that's me. Okay, well, Facebook and Instagram is the Cellar on Treadwell, just like that. We do have actually an email newsletter that we send out as well. It's just once a week. We try not to bombard you, and you can sign up for that. It's like bit.ly/Cellar on Treadwell, or if you send us a message, I can send you a link. It's no problem at all. I guess in terms of the shout outs, like some of the things that I guess are important for us. So right now we are currently, our plan in the short term is to be open on Friday and Saturday evenings for dinner. as Pete mentioned, we're going to be doing our Friday night fun and games with Digital Tracks Entertainment, so alternating trivia and Mixtape Bingo. And then on Saturdays, we are trying to get the live performances on the patio. We are also within our team talking about expanding our hours a little bit, depending on how things go, you know, in the world these days. So maybe stay tuned for some announcement, maybe even something about you're going to hear it here first, guys. I'm just going to do it. Maybe even the idea of a Sunday brunch, maybe see what kind of brunch entrees Chef Andre could come up with. So stay tuned for information about that. And then I guess I would just say, if you are a local artist who is interested in performing in an outdoor patio setting, you know, reach out to us. We are seeking out artists for these Saturday evenings. Right now, because of the space, we're probably focusing a little bit on solos or duos. And if just because we want to make sure all the guidelines, you know, are followed. So yeah, so send us a message either to the Cellar on Treadwell at gmail.com or through Facebook or through Instagram. And I guess the other thing is we just want to thank you guys, really, honestly, not only for having us on today, but being such huge supporters of ours over the last year. You know, we really enjoy all the events that you have put on at our location, and we appreciate you picking us for those events, because we know you have a lot of other places that you can choose from. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you shouting us out today and all of that. So thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate you.
You forgot one thing though, Sherry. You forgot one thing.
Oh no.
We can't 100% get into it because of time, but you're in another adventure. And there's a way for people to get involved in that adventure and help support that next evolution of yourself and what you're doing. So why don't you just say where people could donate to help invest in this next adventure that you're getting into?
Wow, easy. That is pretty amazing. Now I might legitimately cry. Thank you.
Man, easy.
Yeah, so that is the venture is called the Gastro Park. It is to open a year-round food truck park in West Hartford. The project has been going on for quite a while. I joined that project in early 2018. I have two fantastic partners over there. And yeah, we just last weekend launched our Indiegogo campaign to try and raise the last bit of the funds we need to get that project over the finish line. So yeah, so if you go on Indiegogo, you can find it. It's the Gastro Park, all one word. There's lots of different cool perks. So if you donate, you can get different perks. We have a Founders Club, which entitles you to $3 off beer and wine for life. We have, we actually sold out. We had a tree giver where you could buy a tree because we're going to plant some new trees, but we have a local tote bag that's going to be filled with all sorts of local goodies from the West Hartford area where the business is. All sorts of fun stuff. So thank you so much for letting me mention.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you on Behind the Brand. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks, guys.
WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Thank you, everybody.
Everybody be safe.
Take care. Be well.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs